Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Makkot. We are up to Perek Bet Mishnah Dalit. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'elui Nishmad Neria ben Svetlana Ranbai Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov Chana ben Miriam Sason ben Ryan Yoshua ben Shifra Menuchatam began Eden Amen and Leavdil ben Chaim lechaim v'derefua shelemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa betoch Shachulei Israel and Achlama Merav Binyamin Or Tzion Chai ben Dvorah. Having taught when a person must go into exile, the Mishnah teaches where he goes to exile. Le'echan golin, to where are those who killed b'shogeg exiled? Le'are miklat, to the are miklat, to the cities of refuge. Le'shalosh shebe'ever ha'yarden, either to one of the three cities designated as are miklat in Transjordan, the eastern bank of the Jordan River. Transjordan is the land east of the Jordan River that was conquered by Moshe and the Jewish people from Sichon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, as it says in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 21, verses 21 through 35. These territories were granted by Moshe to the tribes of Reuven and Gad, and half of the tribe of Menashe, as it says in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 32, verse 33. The other 9.5 tribes were given land in Eretz Yisrael proper, to the west of the Jordan. Ulishalosh shebe'eretz Canaan, or to one of the three cities designated as Arei Miklat in the land of Canaan, the main part of Eretz Yisrael west of the Jordan River. Shene'amar, as it is stated in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 35, verse 14. Et shelosh she'arim titnu me'ever le'Yarden, ve'et shelosh she'arim titnu be'eretz Canaan ve'Gomer. 3 of the cities of refuge you shall designate across the Jordan, and 3 cities you shall designate in the land of Canaan. They shall be cities of refuge. The names of the cities are listed in the book of Dvarim, chapter 4, verse 43, and the book of Yoshua, chapter 20, verse 7. These were regular cities which were inhabited by the Leviim, who did not receive a specific area of land as the other tribes did, but instead were given 48 cities spread throughout the land. The other 42 Levite cities are also served as cities of refuge, and a shogeg killer could find refuge from the Goel Adam and serve out his exile in any of them. The Mishnah lists only these 6, since these are the primary Arei Miklat, and a number of laws that apply to the Arei Miklat do not apply to the other 42 cities. The killer serves out his exile in one of these cities. If he leaves, the Goel Adam, close relative of his victim, is permitted to kill him. Any relative who is the heir of the person who was killed can be the Goel Adam, as the Rambam writes in Ilchot Rotzech, chapter 1, Halachot 2 and 3. And as we will see, B'ezrat Hashem B'li Neder, Mishnah 7, this relative is permitted to kill the killer unless he is in the city of refuge. And we will learn B'ezrat Hashem B'li Neder in Mishnah 6, when a killer may safely leave the Ir HaMiklat. The 3 Arei Miklat in Transjordan were set aside by Moshe before the Jews entered Eretz Yisrael in the book of Dvarim, chapter 4, verses 41 through 43. The 3 Arei Miklat in Eretz Yisrael were selected by Yoshua only after Jews finished conquering and dividing the land 14 years later. It took 7 years for the Jews to conquer Eretz Yisrael and another 7 years to divide it. Only after the land was divided did Yoshua set aside the 3 Arei Miklat in Eretz Yisrael. It says in the book of Yoshua, chapter 20, verses 1 through 7. The Mishnah teaches, Ad shelo nivcharu shalosh sheberetz Yisrael, as long as the 3 Arei Miklat in Eretz Yisrael had not yet been chosen by Yoshua, lo hayu shalosh shebe'ever Yarden koltot, the 3 cities in Transjordan did not provide refuge either, even though they had already been chosen and designated as Arei Miklat. Therefore, if a person killed b'shogeg during the 14 years that the Jews were conquering and dividing Eretz Yisrael, he would not be safe from the Goel Adam in one of the Arei Miklat in Transjordan. Shenemar, for it is stated in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 35, verse 13, Shesh Arei Miklat tiena, they shall be 6 cities of refuge, Ad shu sheshtan koltot ke'echad. This implies that these cities do not provide refuge until all 6 of them can provide refuge at the same time. The Torah does not have to mention here that there were 6 cities in total, since the next verse clearly states that there were 3 in Eretz Yisrael and 3 in Transjordan. The Torah mentions a total of 6 to teach that the cities provide refuge only when there are 6 of them and not when there are only 3. Therefore, until the cities in Eretz Yisrael were chosen and began to provide refuge, the cities in Transjordan could not provide refuge either. And that is the end of Mishnah Daled. Now, until a killer reaches an Ir Miklat, he is in danger of being killed by the Goel Adam. Mishnah teaches some laws that were instituted to help protect the killer. Roads were made leading directly to each Ir Miklat from every city, so that a shogeg killer could reach an Ir Miklat as quickly as possible and therefore be safe from the Goel Adam. Since it is important that the killer reaches an Ir Miklat without delay, the roads to the Arei Miklat were made straight without any twists or turns, and at every crossroads there was a sign pointing the way to the Arei Miklat. Now we will learn in the next Mishnah B'ezrat Hashem B'li Neder that the killer was put on trial to determine whether the killing was shogeg. Before this is determined, the Goel Adam is not given permission to kill the killer, but if he does kill him, he is not punished. Therefore, there's a good chance that the Goel Adam will kill the killer even now, and the killer must therefore rush to an Ir Miklat. Shenemar, as it is stated regarding the cities of refuge in the book of Dvarim, chapter 19, verse 3, Tachin lecha derech v'shilashta v'gomer. You shall prepare the road for yourself and divide the land, etc. This teaches that we must prepare the road to the Arei Miklat so that a killer can reach one of these cities quickly. Now we will learn B'ezrat Hashem B'li Neder in the next Mishnah that after a killer arrives in Ir Miklat, the court summons him and puts him on trial to decide whether he is in fact required to go into exile. If they determine that the killing was shogeg, the killer is returned to the Ir Miklat. The Mishnah describes what was done to protect the killer while he was returning to the Ir Miklat. The court provides shogeg killers with 2 Torah scholars who escort them to the Ir Miklat, Shema Yargenu Baderech, because we suspect that the Goel Adam might try to kill the killer on the way. V'yidabru elav, and if so, the 2 Torah scholars will speak to the Goel Adam and try to convince him to spare the killer's life. Although the Torah gives the Goel Adam the right to avenge his relative's death, he is not obligated to do so, and we try to discourage him from doing so. Another opinion, Rabbi Meir says instead of having 2 Torah scholars speak for the killer, Afu medaber al yedei atzmo, the killer should speak for himself to the Goel Adam and plead for his life. Although our text reads Afu medaber al yedei atzmo, he too should speak for himself, which implies that the killer speaks in addition to the scholars. The Rav and the Rambam in the commentary delete the word Af too and explain that according to Rabbi Meir, only the killer speaks and there is no need for scholars to accompany him. Shenemar, as it is stated when introducing the laws of exile, V'zeh devar rotzeach, and this is the matter, literally the word of the killer. This is there in verse 4. This alludes, according to Rabbi Meir, to the fact that the killer speaks up for himself. And the Rav tells us, Rabbi Meir, that Alayev does not follow the opinion of Rabbi Meir. And that is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen v'amen.